Briar Tech here. This is my epoch. I am exhausted. I'm going to be sharing something on my or on Patreon. It's going to be like a bonus behind the scenes video. I want to share an experience that happened last night, but yeah, I only got like 2 hours sleep. But I kind of want to, I want it to be a little raw because I mean, I'm a little upset. So I'm going to put it over there where people, everybody knows what's going on. So what's up, Just a Guest? It's nice to see you, Jeremy. Okay, so now I can also look over here so that I can actually see the chat. It's much bigger than here. So I can look at it, both of them. And so I'm figuring out kind of how to use the setup. But I want to take a moment, and we're just gonna, this is gonna be a live Q&A. You guys got questions, you guys want to know things, you guys are curious about things, want my input on things, stuff like that. Now, the live stream probably may not go longer than an hour. Now, there was some comments that were made at the end of the last live stream that I'm really that I wanted to address, because Alfred, I appreciate the comment and the thought in what you were saying about I should do a live stream every day. I'm not really a news channel. I don't want to be a news channel when it comes to that. I want to be able to cover, news events or breaking news as far as what goes on within the homeless community, but it's not going to be my main focus. And so as much as I would like to do it, the main reason why I don't, I do 2 live streams, Saturday and Tuesday, because I want to be able to reach you guys during the week that, have days off during the week, or that I can meet you at a certain time, because maybe during the weekend you're a lot busier than you are after you get off work during the week. So I give you guys a couple of opportunities to be able to come here for the live stream. And I am working with, you guys already know that I'm working with Homeless Entrepreneur. So it is, I've been talking about it a little bit. If you guys want me to explain who he is, he was actually commenting in the last live stream. So he asked, actually asked a really deep question about, like, if I wanted to talk to the president. That was actually the head of Homeless Entrepreneur. And, he's got an interesting story. He's got a YouTube channel. You can check it out. It has his TED Talk. So he actually did a TED Talk. But this morning was 2 weeks in, and I got to be able to talk to my business development specialist. So because I'm treating all this like a business and so on and so forth, I get to actually sit back and interact with somebody. And this is a person who runs a homeless advocacy group, like they're a not-for-profit, stuff like that, that is networking with the homeless entrepreneur. And so therefore I'm sitting there, and I'm kind of getting to understand kind of like the network, but he's making connections and kind of building it piece by piece. It's actually quite fascinating what he's building. But I'm going to tell you basically what went on with my experience with her, because it's you're starting to see some of it happen on the channel. So after our first meeting, we were talking about like how I become more efficient with my time, how I can sit there and maximize my time so I can get the biggest bang for my buck, so that I can reach my goals of getting me and Sam housed. I did that for the last couple of weeks, and kind of really honed in on the schedule, kind of figured out what tools I need to make my life easier, so on and so forth. So as soon as YouTube decides to pay me, which they're supposed to pay me today, but for some reason they haven't even made a deposit towards my bank account. Like, normally by now I see my account kind of go to zero, and I see that the money's been transferred, but I haven't got to see that today, and I'm wondering what's going on. It happens every once in a while, probably about, I don't know, this is probably the second time where it's like I got paid a couple days later. I don't know if there's a hiccup in their system or whatever, but I will be getting vidIQ, because that is a tool that's going to help me get better at what it is that I'm doing. So I ran a poll with you guys this week. And on that poll, we talked about, or I asked you guys, like, how do you like my new editing? How do you like my new style? What do you think of it? And it seems like we've got like 60% of you guys think that it's great, you like it, you think it's making a positive impact on the channel. I'm seeing in the stats that it's making a positive impact in the channel. But it seems like I have a large majority of you, almost like actually more than a super majority of you, that think that just by doing the editing alone, even without the title and thumbnail, is making the videos more engaging and so on and so forth. So for those of you that responded or that continue to respond to that poll, I really appreciate your feedback. It is helping me understand what it is that I need to bring to you. Because one of the biggest struggles that I've had with YouTube is that I didn't know what my niche was. I started off at one and went on to another. Okay, so hey, what's up, Cherokee? Nice to see you, big bud. So hey, what's up, Joe Morgan? Nice to see you as well. Okay, so and tell me if my sound is good and stuff like that as well. But you know, I just having the tools, everything's getting better, and so on and so forth. I'm really happy about that. And for those of you that keep responding to the polls, I really, really appreciate your input. So one of the things that I talked with my business development about, and kind of what you're going to start seeing on the channel, kind of how the channel is going to work, and kind of the types of topics that I'm going to choose. Because, you know, over the last couple of weeks, I've been asking you guys questions so that I can understand who it is that's actually watching my content, and what it is that they're searching for, and what it is that their topics of interest are, so that I know how to better create content so that I can grow the viewership, and you know, kind of reach the goals that I want to reach. Well, with everything that you guys have said, is that I'm in education and awareness. Okay, so if you're about to be homeless, you're newly homeless, you're going to be homeless. Hey, what's up, Outdoors? Hey, I made mention to you to my advisor today about possibly maybe even connecting you with her to get your little project off the ground. You know, because I mean, that's what the great thing is YouTube's about connections. We're all here. This is why I'm really pushed the Patreon, and I've got to go in there and create a couple more different tiers. But if you notice, and I kind of made it funny, like Army of Tuck, Bank of Tuck. You know, just go look at the different tiers. Even if you already are a subscriber or you're not a subscriber, you should go look at the different tiers, and you'll get a little bit of a laugh about it. But you know, and I got a chance to kind of, you know, figure out what my next direction is. Okay, so now I got YouTube going. Now I have to figure out, okay, Patreon, because Patreon is my next big thing that I'm working on. And so the thing about Patreon is that it's going to be different content than what's here. It's got to be, you know, content that people are willing to pay for versus what most people expect from YouTube, which is free content. Okay, so what things can I do? And her and I came up with a couple of ideas. And so this is why you're seeing the tiers on Patreon change for those of you that are curious about what's going on. So we're still going to keep the behind the scenes. The behind the scenes is going to be talking about the channel, and kind of for those of you that are invested in the channel and want to make sure that it becomes successful, you know, understanding the behind the scenes and stuff like that, that goes to you. Okay, but then I have another tier, which is now called, I think I call it Army of Tuck. Instead of Hobo Tutorials. Okay, so you still get the behind the scenes just like before. Nothing's really changing there. But I'm not going to be putting up regular content there as far as, you know, regular videos. What that's going to be is, what I really want to start working on is creating a community that networks together. Because the connections that we have are going to ensure our survival later on. Okay, it's important that we build a foundation as a community, so that even though we're spread throughout the globe, throughout the United States, in this community, we have the ability to reach out and touch each other in a good way, of course, for all of you dirty minds out there. You know, we have a way to reach out to each other and have a conversation. And maybe, you know, you have something that I need, and, you know, we want to swap things like that. Hey, you know, maybe I need some intel on what's going on because I'm coming in your area, things like that. Or, hey, you know, what's working for you? Are you experiencing this? It gives you guys an opportunity to network. And so I want to create a side that is really designed, and this is kind of what the Army of Tuck is going to be really built around, is that I want to kind of figure out a way, and I'm going to have to do some research on this, but on the Army of Tuck tier, what I really would like to do with the chat is Have it to where you have your advocates and your group that are part of the homeless awareness. So uh, you're going to have that type of group there, because remember we said it's education and homeless awareness. So the group that's really into homeless awareness is going to be an Army of Tuck, because what I'm hoping to build around there is a support structure for those that are experiencing homelessness and that need connections, or that you may have something like an extra sleeping bag, you want to send it out, you can send it to somebody that is going to be responsible with it, that could actually use it, so on and so forth. And so it becomes a way to where we can exchange, and we have one tier that is kind of bringing the resources in. That way, if you're not getting certain things in certain parts of the country, we can make sure to spread the resources out so that everybody is able to get as much as they possibly can. But that goes through networking and through people saying, I have this extra thing, I don't mind giving it away. If there's, and then so they watch through chat like, hey, I need this, so on and so forth. And I think that this is something that where I want it to be more like a symbiotic relationship. But what's all going to happen there is, because it's going towards more homeless awareness, and this is what I learned from my development specialist today, because her and I were having a conversation. I'm going to tell you about the conversation I had with her, because it was a really, really good conversation. But that group of people needs to understand they need to understand it from our perspective as homeless to be able to administer us. They're getting academic, they're getting government bureaucracy that gets handed down. Plus, you've got all this bad management from people that wanted to do good but didn't, and so you've got the waters mucked up. And so these people don't really know how to help the homeless. They want to help the homeless. They want to do good by the homeless, but at least what I understood today is that those that are coming into this space to help the homeless don't really know what the homeless need or how to help the homeless appropriately. Okay, so let's get into that conversation, because this is kind of going to be where what kind of video content is going to be over there as part of that tier. And I'm going to do one video a month to start off with, guaranteed, but then I'm going to move it up to 2 videos a month, because this is going to be something that is going to be more in depth. So because she's just starting her advocacy group, her NGO, and she wants to help the homeless get jobs, she wants to help the homeless get resources, and so she's starting a project, and she wants to know how to be able to make that project where it actually benefits the homeless, and it's not just a waste of money that's just going into this never-ending homeless industrial complex. And so she wanted to be able to network with different groups, and kind of like go out there and like teach people how to do resumes and stuff like that. It's like, and I had to stop her there for a minute, and this is kind of how we both were able to come to this conclusion. But I had to stop her there for a minute and be like, okay, well, you know what, that's really not going to work. People don't need help writing a resume unless you're over 55. Okay, what you really need help with, what you really need connections for, is connections within the community. Okay, so for example, you're trying to get people jobs. So now all of a sudden you're going to employers. You're going to say, hey, look, we can get you jobs. You're going to help the homeless. You get tax credits. You're going to pitch them the idea that when they have either temporary or permanent labor, that they can reach out to you, give you an opportunity to do first bid. So as the homeless are coming in and they're going, I need work, you've already got things that are lined up for them, or at least opportunities, and say, look, just keep checking in, keep coming in here. Put in your applications, but we will when a job comes available, you're on the list. Okay, and so not only does that give the homeless people help and hope, but it also is an intelligent way to be able to utilize the pulpit in which this lady has within her community, because she's in the New York area. So I mean, I haven't even asked her how bad the homeless issue there is and kind of how it's going, but one of the just teaching people how to do resume, the library does that. If people need to do that, the library does that. What you need to do is actually be the solution. And so like she realized like how much she was going about it wrong, because she was doing the same thing that everybody else was doing. And so therefore it was going to add to all of the pile of money that gets spent that doesn't actually provide any solutions. And one of the things that I explained to her is the fact that she's a young and new NGO, and she's getting in touch with me, and I'm having the ability to influence some of the decisions or some of the programs that she offers that may actually make a positive impact, is that there's competition within the space. If something works and like is really really good, then they can ramp up funding for it, and they can go to Congress and get all that stuff. But unless they find out what's working, then the rest of the group can't get on board, and so on and so forth. And so there is competition within the space, but nobody's really being innovative. They're just doing the same things over and over, expecting that it's going to solve the problem, and all it's doing is just adding to the problem and wasting money. And so this is the type of content that I'm gonna have out there. Like, how do you help the homeless? How do you make an impact in the homeless? Like, if you're gonna go and volunteer and be in the homeless community and serve the homeless community there, what are the things that you can do that are gonna be impactful while you're in this situation? And to be able to give you tidbits of advice as I go through and I get to experience it and I get to see, if there was somebody that was wise enough to sit back and listen, this would be a good way to be able to be of help to a good portion of the homeless, the ones that actually work. Because even this, even my advisor admitted to me, and you can't help but admit, but there are some out here that are complete lost causes. What are you going to do? Instead, those are the ones that take up all the time, all the resources, because they get all of the money for all of the funding, and the people that actually need the help don't get help. And one of the pieces of advice that I gave her to kind of help her along in her way is that there are people out there that are like me, and we don't have access to very much help. And so if you're going to help people, these are the people that you need to carve out special time, because you're going to have your time wasters, and you need to keep those time wasters at bay so that you can actually keep your time available for those that are actually going to be productive. Because that some are going to make it, some aren't. Some want to, some don't. Okay? And so with the $10 a month, there is that. Now, one of the things, because she was asking me questions in the same way that I did over on my gaming channel. Some guy, one of the players was like, "Hey, I want to know how to get better at my game." I'm like, "Okay, sir." I'll sit there. I'll have a conversation. At the end of the conversation, I'm like, "You know what? If you found value in this, if you think this is worth $20, go ahead and pop me down $20 for this. If you feel like it, but you don't have to, because I didn't say anything up front." And I asked him some questions like, "Since I did this for free, would it be worth $20 to you?" Things like that. And so they said yes, and so therefore it's like, okay, perfect. Now in this space, because something very similar happened, she asked me the same questions that I would be asked in a consulting venue, to where now I have the opportunity to, if you want to sit down and pick my brain, and you are like a mover and shaker, you have the ability to influence things within your NGO, within your organization, this will give you an opportunity to be able to reach out, have a regular connection with me, so that it actually makes a positive impact within the homeless community that you are servicing. Because there are those of you that are there that want to contribute to the solutions to homelessness. It does not mean that you have to work for an NGO or anything else like that. So as long as you sit there and go, "I want to be aware of the situation, I want to help and make the situation better, and I want to know what it is that I can do and make the most impact," that's really what that tier is going to be. Plus, there's one that's for about $40 a month if you want to be able to have an hour conversation with me every month without fail. You actually get a discount versus if you just want an a la carte. Now, if you want an a la carte and you just want to sit down and you want to ask me some questions, you can go through the website. I've got a services thing now set up. You can pay right there. I have a pay link. So you book the appointment, then you go to the pay link and you prepay for it, and then we do the appointment at the date and time that you choose. I expect you to choose about a day out in advance, because that way I have time to prepare and maybe even ask you some questions. Okay, so now I have said a lot. I have kind of given you guys a lot of a channel update. I was using this venue for that. Well, you guys went and heated up chat. So let's go look at what. Okay, hold on. Hold on. So I'm trying to live chat. Okay. So, okay, well, I'm just gonna have to do it on the phone. Oh, okay, I thought that there was a lot more than that. Okay, I thought you guys were really lighting it up. Okay, all right, so, hey, just a guest, not late. Okay, great to see you too, Joe. Great to see you, Cherokee. Great to see you outdoors. I think most want to be on the trails and talking about issues. I'm good in anything. Well, you want to be out on trail. Yeah, that kind of works. But being out on trail is something that you're going to do if you're just going to be out in that lifestyle permanently, because you're not really, unless you're building a YouTube channel specifically around hiking, or you're becoming a content creator that is in the hiking niche and using that as a way to make money. You have to come out of the you have to come out of the forest and make some money. You are required to get to a city. It's going to be how you support yourself. You have to reapply for benefits. You had to do all those different things. Okay, so being out in the woods, it sounds fun, but if you don't have money to be able to go to the store to buy food, or to buy other resources, or to be able to get the things that you need, then you're up shit creek. Okay, so well, not anything. Okay, so all right, hey hentai, dead Kennedys. Okay, hello marijuana man. Hey, what's up, dead Kennedys? All right, happy 420 Cherokee. Hey Glenna, how are you? I see most camps, okay, have been disbanded along the trail I walk when I smoke. Are you talking about the homeless camps? I don't know. When I was going on Florida Trail trying to get on, I saw several homeless camps out there on the edge of civilization, because again, they still need to get in there to get their resources. So it was, the trail talks were the best. Yeah, well, trail talks are fun. You're out there in the. Hey Alfred, nice to see you. I have not been to pick up mail. If you watch it from the beginning, you'll kind of understand how the day's been going. But being in the woods is great, but you still have to go to the store unless you are going to hunt and grow, and you've got a little piece of land, but not very many people are doing that. Not many people have the skill set for it, the knowledge, or, oh, maybe I should do this type of thing. Okay, so you got to realize the average person isn't gonna do that. They're just gonna go camp out in the woods like a homeless person, do their thing, and just come back into town because they can't sleep in town without getting harassed. So they go outside of town and then they just come in town to make their money. So if you are homeless and you do not have an income, you in a lot of ways are dependent on the cities if you want to survive, because the small and rural cities really won't provide much unless you have a side hustle, or you've got something off to the side. It's going to be much different for you in a rural area. And as we experience mass homelessness, if we see 90 to 100 million people that go homeless, well, being in a city is going to be where all the resources are, plus that's also going to be where the trade routes are. So if you're going to ever get back up on your feet, you need to be where the jobs are, which is in the cities. Okay, the infrastructure is built in the cities. Okay, and as much as we say exit the cities, yes, exit the cities for a minute, but get right back, because when all the dust settles, you're gonna want to be there to get back up on your feet. So this is also the conversation that I was talking with the lady about, because this has always been my mission statement is, with the great dispossession and everything that's going to happen there, we're going to see millions upon millions. We're going to see a lot more homeless than we ever saw during the Great Depression. Okay, so if we're going to see that, it's going to be brutal. It's going to be ugly, and we're not agrarian like we are now, or like we were then. And so that's going to get really bad. So you're going to have a lot of people trying to figure out how to live, how to survive, when everything is falling apart around them. Businesses are closing, banks are collapsing, inflation's raging on, businesses are laying off, infrastructure is being neglected, the constant, things that are going on in the rest of the world that we're constantly egging on. Okay, yes, this is live higher power. So, but it's just, there is all of this stuff that you have to that you have to take into account. And when the dust settles, civilization is going to have to put itself back together. What is you going to do? What is your part that you're going to do to ensure that we don't have a society of zombies, and instead we have a society of people that will take the opportunity to become productive once the whole system resets and starts back up, because we're all going to have to be retooled in the skill sets that we have, if we're not already retooling ourselves right now. Because you're going to have to, in order to make yourself valuable to people in the future, you're going to have to you're going to be not only dependent on the cities, but you're going to have to level up your skills. You are going to have to understand the digital marketplace, whether you want to or not. And in the same way that you remember years ago, you didn't have a computer. So if you refused to learn computers, it's great. But the last 5 years of the baby boomers, before they were finally starting to retire out, computers became mandatory because they refused to learn it. They were no longer really employable, but they were kept around for various reasons. But in a lot of places, because they refused to change with the times, to educate, to retool, to expand their skill set, they were that whole generation was left behind. Luckily, it was towards the end of their work cycle. But what happens for Gen Xers that are like towards the end of their work cycle, or in actually the last third of our work cycle, okay, for a lot of us. So, if you're a Gen Xer, you're in the last third of your work cycle, how are you going to retool yourself if you refuse to learn? Okay. And that's why it's important to understand, or at least pre-position yourself. Use it as a side hustle. I mean, I don't want to be the guy that does the side hustle channel, but I also want to be able to push you towards that so that you go look at other content creators that talk about side hustles more in depth, because that's all they talk about. Me, I talk about homelessness, and having a side hustle is important if you're going to get off the streets and go back to becoming a productive member of society, if that's what you want to do. Okay, so, so let's see. I live in the woods. You gotta fight for your food. Ain't no stores. Yeah. Okay, first, the homeless camps in my area are gone, but there's a camp at the court on the greenery, believe it or not. Yeah, they kind of have them in a rotation. They'll come in and clear them out because they start to do all the really nasty stuff, and then they'll scatter and reform, scatter and reform, scatter and reform. Because they have no other choice, but they get scattered to the winds, and then they just reform because they still got to find a place to sleep. Just because you scatter them doesn't mean that they're going to go away, because they're stuck there in a lot of instances, because nobody really wants to deal with that day in and day out. Okay, so that's probably what's happening. If not, they may be going into, maybe following like the whole Florida thing, but you guys are in Canada, which you guys have a whole different set of rules. Okay, so yes, Hightower, I see you live in a tent. Get your gear in order now. Yes, if you haven't got your gear, get your gear in order. Let's see. Pin message, put hide user, add as moderator. Huh. Okay, I'm supposed to be able to give you a free membership. Huh. So let's see here. No. Pin hide user, add as moderator. Okay, so I'm gonna have to look up how to do it, but I was gonna give away some free memberships tonight. That way, some of you guys that want to see what it's like to pay $3 a month over or here on YouTube and get early access, you guys can, because I'm supposed to be able to just click on you and give it to you, but I'll have to research it. I need to start giving those things. I need to start giving away a couple every week, kind of like do a drawing, something for you guys, because I mean, the only benefit is because like I'm gonna start uploading a month's worth of videos up front, so you'll get to watch them weeks before they get released. So if there is stuff that's time sensitive, I mean, it may be really sooner, but it actually gives you an opportunity to see it before anybody else. And if there's anything in there that you find to be actionable, well then, you kind of are ahead of the curve as far as, on the content in which I cover. So I got service. Okay, good. Does location matter? It depends. It depends upon what you're trying to do. Hightower, what are you trying to do? Higher power. Tell me, if I know what you're trying to do, I can answer your question a lot better. Same, okay. Courthouses, okay, you need a cot. That's if I was sleeping inside. I'm sleeping outside. I just sleep on the ground. Okay, so am I a albino? No, I'm not an albino. I'm just sitting directly under the light. So, do you have maps in case SHTF and you have to flee? Not yet. It is on my list. I find, like, what you guys asked me, like, do you need anything? I'm like, no. Well, now I know I need some. I'm gonna go buy me a little flash drive for my B-roll. but I don't really need to buy anything other than my subscriptions. So what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to start upgrading some of my gear. I'm going to start, shoring up some of the things, because I need to get my first aid kit in order. I need to get my grooming kit in order, because I need to be able to trim myself when I'm out there on trail, because I am going to go out on trail for at least a short period of time. May not be for a long period of time, but I do need a break. The city life is getting to me, and I do need a break. And right now I have a perfect opportunity, but I'm trying to make sure to keep my momentum. So last year when I retooled the channel and almost lost it because of following some bad advice, was that I released a whole bunch of stuff, but I got delayed because he was too busy delaying me, to where I couldn't keep up with the content, to where it took me about a month after I got here to kind of start picking up the views again, and start picking up everything. So I squandered an opportunity. So because I squandered that opportunity, I don't want to squander this opportunity, because I really would like to, by sometime in September, I'm supposed to hit the 4,000 mark, and I bet you by the time October comes around, end of October, I may be, or at least middle of November, I may be hitting about 5,000 subscribers. Okay, and so that's it's what I'm working towards. And so now that I've got the momentum and I have the opportunity to take the time and do my editing and do all this other stuff and make quality videos, I'm debating between, do I take a day off and go spend 2 or 3 days in the woods? So like I'm going to spend maybe like a half day to a day walking out there. I'm going to spend 1 or 2 days sitting out there. Then I'm going to spend a half day to a day. So I'm going to be gone for like 4 days minimum. Okay, so if I'm gone in that 4 days, the question becomes, if I'm gone for that 4 days, do I have enough of a cushion so that I can come back and ease into it, instead of trying to restart this whole engine all over again? So, all right, guys. So I tell you, I'm getting tired. So I'm going to answer this round of questions. And then, okay, so there we go. I'm going to answer this round of questions, and then we are going to start working on wrapping up, because I need to go get me some rest. I am operating on 2 hours of sleep a night. Okay, so before we get into the last bit of questions, you guys know how to help the channel. If you're not a subscriber, become a subscriber. What's the other thing? Oh yeah, everything else is down in the description. Patreon, website, donations, tip jar, everything you need to know, any way in which you want to contribute to the channel. And please, take advantage of the open communication that I offer you. Not a lot of content creators do that. So through my website or through Messenger on Facebook, okay, you can reach out to me. I keep on them all the time. I have one app that actually keeps an eye on all of my different social media platforms. So anytime you guys send me a message, it comes in. And so therefore I can respond to you in semi-real time. I mean, not always, but most of the time I do. It's just take advantage of that. If you want to reach out to me, whether it be to suggest content, whether it be to ask questions, which then may inspire a video, or if you just need to, have me clarify something, or whatever it may be, or you have an article you want to share with me to go on the homeless news. Okay, those are different things that you can reach out to, and you can have real-time communication. I'm trying to be one of those content creators that really has that one-on-one relationship with as many possible subscribers as possible. And once I get to that point where I can no longer take care of all the subscribers, I'm gonna follow Bushcraft's advice and start trying to put some sort of cap, because I want to be able to be there for all of my subscribers and not be too big to where all of a sudden I lose that personal touch, because that's why you guys showed up in the first place. Okay, so that's why I say reach out to me. There's many ways you can communicate with me or contribute to the channel, and some are free, some are paid. Okay, so you need to work on your stealth skills. Okay. Oh, hey, Joanne, nice to see you. All right, so McDonald's gives me free fries. Well, that's good. Tuck, do you shop at secondhand stores, Goodwill, etc.? Lots of good stuff at those places. Well, Tim, I would if there were some that were like close to me within walking distance, but they're so far out into the burbs, or they're so spread out into a rural part of town, it's kind of hard to get to them. I have been thinking about it because I do want to go to a military surplus store, and I do want to go to like a Goodwill and see if I can find some good stuff, and I want to start bargain hunting there, and maybe even turn it into like a side hustle, because I can buy and sell, like I can find things there real cheap, go sell it online for 40% markup plus shipping, and make a living off of that if I find good stuff that people want. Okay, so I don't do it now, but I do want to do it in the near future. Okay, so sign up for REI membership. It's free, but a co-op. Okay, what do you mean by co-op? I know what a co-op is, but like, how am I a co-op? And I will look at REI, because I really like that titanium bowl and stuff that you sent me. Hold on, I'm gonna actually pull it out. So for those of you that are wondering, and now I know you can get it on REI, but I'm gonna see if there is an Amazon equivalent. But Alfred, if you want to, in the comments after the not the chat, but the comments, post whatchamacallit, if you've got a link to those, you can put those in there for those that want the exact ones. But I'm gonna probably do an Amazon equivalent. If there are, but the thing is, I'm not really well versed in it. So, when it comes to these things, I'm just learning about it because Prophet had one, and so on and so forth. So, okay, so here is my 2 titanium bowls. Okay, so I know that it looked like it was coming in 2 packages, Alfred, but it actually came in 1 box. Okay, so it did not come in 2 packages. It was just 2 line items. Okay, so these right here, they're titanium bowls. I used them last night for dinner because we had chili dogs, and so therefore I had a full bowl. And I have a second one in case I have a guest. This is good for rices, good for soups, keeps things extra warm during the winter. You can it's actually really nice. It's durable. I don't know all of the advantages of the titanium, but I do know that it is quality, because Alfred wouldn't send me anything that wasn't, just because I understand. Him and I have talked a little bit, and so hold on here, let me find. Okay, hold on, my spoon. Hold on, where is my spoon? Okay, and I like this spoon except for the texture. Okay, I ate some loaded potato salad with it. I ate some chili dogs with it. But I still keep this in case I have a guest. Now I have an extra set of silverware. But I have this, but I got to keep this in my hood. And the thing is it's not really bendable. Okay, it's very sturdy. It's very, very tough. That's one thing that I like about it. It's not going to bend real easy. But I am still going to keep it very, very. I'm going to take care of it as best as I possibly can. But one of the things that I had, because I went and bought like a 3-pack of forks, and when you buy the 3-pack of forks, 1 or 2 gets bent or whatever, stuff like that. This is rounded enough, so these tips right here are rounded enough so that it doesn't like poke holes in your stuff, but it still is enough to where you can poke things. So I like that. It's actually a very, very good product. I'm really happy. And Alfred, I got to say thank you very much. So I got rid of the bowls and the soup ladle, and now it fits right inside here. Okay, so that way I can fit it in, because I was sitting there trying to figure out, like, how do I put this in my bag? So I figured it out, and that's what I did. And so hold on, that's gonna have to go there. Okay, and I feel like I'm missing something. No, I know what's going on now. So anyways, I'll put this back together later on. But Alfred, and I haven't gone to pick up the newest package. I don't know what you sent me. If you want to tell me, great, I'd love to know. But otherwise, I will be surprised when I get it, and probably the next video I do after that, you guys will see it. So again, I may put an Amazon equivalent up there, because he's sending me good gear. He's not sending me cheap stuff. And honestly, I'm really, really appreciative of the titanium, because I know from what Prophet was telling me, it's the best to have. So I don't know why, for the most part, but I just know that those that are very avid in this space, that they love those. Okay, so do you have maps in case? Okay, so hold on. That sucks. You're going short tonight, but it's all good. Yeah, well, okay, I'll let a little bit of it out, okay? Because last night I think I blacked out and had one of my adrenaline rushes, and it was rough. Because of it, that's why I didn't get any sleep, and it was because of something that Sam did, and the way in which she woke me up that put me in that state to where I kind of woke up, and when I came to, I wasn't laying down with my eyes open. I was on my knees over my dog, going, not even knowing what the hell's going on. That was pretty scary. And why did it happen? Because she was chasing after a squirrel at 2 a.m. in the morning. Wakes up out of a dead sleep to chase a squirrel, and just it was such an abrupt wake up that I woke up thinking that I was in danger, and so on and so forth. And so yeah, that's why I didn't get any sleep. That's the PG version. Like I said, over on Patreon, I am going to have a much more raw conversation because again, I'm still a little mad about certain things that happened. Not necessarily with Sam, but there was some other things that happened after that I will explain later on. But yeah, I was almost falling asleep before I started here, but I made a commitment to you guys, and I love coming live with you guys. It's like it's a family, it's like Cheers. Everybody knows your name. So I think yeah. So, but yeah, I'm extremely tired. I tried to record a video before this and stuff like that, but I'm so tired that I'm stuttering over basic words. So the fact that I'm forming coherent sentences and actually keeping, I'm like half asleep right now. So, where am I? I'm in Cincinnati. Hello, Mr. Tuck. Why not be homeless and productive member of society? But I am, Gonko. That's exactly what I'm doing. Why do you, I mean, how many subscribers do I have? Do you notice that there's ads? Do you not think that I get paid on it? Do you think that I'm not doing things that are bringing value into the marketplace? Okay, I just spent the last at least 30 minutes talking about it. So either you're late to the conversation or it went in one ear and out the other. Get distracted, gonna go back to catch up. Hey, no worries, Jeremy. I'm glad to see you, man. I'm always glad to see you and to see you, Joanne. Just stay hidden. Okay, you need to have, okay. McDonald's gives me free, okay. Tuck, okay, yeah, there we go. Sign, okay, yeah. Man, internet cafes need to make a comeback. Yes, they do. But you know what? If you've got your own laptop, just go down to a local. That's the most. Who the fuck is calling me at 7 o'clock at night? Anyway, sorry, I got a spam caller. But the coffee shops are going to be the closest thing. You just got to come with your own computer because they're not providing it for you. But they still have them in places. In Dallas, I know that they have one. They have a really, really big internet lounge. I mean, it's probably like 50, 60 computers, plus a couple of private game rooms. They hold tournaments there. There's, in some places they do have them, but you got to really look. It's in the outskirts of Dallas. But, if you're into that type of thing and you live in there, hey, go check it out. So, man, okay. Hey, Kitschy, nice to see you. I haven't seen you in a while. Okay, collect rainwater and pray. Pray to Jeebus, right? Okay, so I had a mobile hotspot you could stream from Trail. If you had could I stream from? It's not necessarily about a mobile hotspot. It's about quality of signal. Verizon's going to be the best one that you can get, and that's who I have. My old man's been paying for this since my divorce. Verizon gets the best signal you can get. But the further out in the woods you get, you need an amplifier, not a hotspot. And so I would need to be closer to cell towers and stuff like that so that I could get a decent signal. Then I could do live streams out there. But there was parts on the Florida Trail where I had zero signal because I was on the other side of the bridge of I-10, and the cell tower was on the other side. And so for like a day and a half, I had no signal whatsoever. So having a hotspot really wouldn't fix that situation. Need merch. Oh, you want to see merch, huh? Okay. All right. Higher power, as you can see. I've dinged it up a little bit, but That is merch. This is the one line that I'm pushing right now because it's the only one that I feel comfortable enough to peddle, because one, I bought it, and two, I made sure that it was functional. Okay, so you never got around to calling me. Um, Bushcraft, I lost your number. I kept asking you because you probably still have my number. If you could either text me or send me an email with your number, because somehow I don't have it, and that's why I haven't called you. But yeah, I would love to talk to you. So they are giving out tablets with service. No, they're not giving out tablets anymore. Tablets you got to pay for. You're only getting the cell phones now. For a while, though, they were giving out the tablets for free, but they have stopped giving out tablets for free. You only get cell phones. Now, if you want a tablet, you're going to pay a $20 fee to be able to get that tablet. But the only reason why you'd want a tablet is if you're doing graphic design, web design, using a stylus, needing something like I was talking with my business developer. One of the things that we were talking about was like, yeah, I can't start until 10 because that's when the library opens up. Now, if I had a tablet, keyboard, mouse, which I can buy one for about $70, if I had something like that, then I could start work much earlier, and then I could kind of tailor my day. I don't need to be stuck in the library. I can go to many different places and work and still give Sam her time while I get my work done, and maybe even be a little bit more productive. Okay, but I also have to run the risk of all the elements that are going after that thing too. And for $65, it's going to be slower than snot. So, I mean, I'm going to be pulling my hair out. But if I need to be able to do it on the move, I do have something like that. But then I would also have to pay for service. But like for $20, they'll sell you a tablet. No problem whatsoever. Okay, so REI is store for hardcore campers. Yes, I know. I've gone to REI several times. Been a member since you can buy, sell, trade. Oh, did not know that. I've never been an avid hiker until the last year. And then I kind of fell in love with it. But, again, I'm kind of stuck on the cities until if I wanted to go out on trail and spend the rest of my days on trail, I would have to be making about $700 to $900 a month. Okay, that would pay for everything. Plus, I would not only make $700 to $900 a month, but I need to be able to not put up one video a week, and have that get enough views to be able to get me the $600 to $900. Okay, so that's something that if I want to go back out on trail, in order to accomplish that is a checkpoint that I have to hit. So don't leach chemicals like the other metals. Oh, okay, that's good. Sucks you're going, okay. Getting a good rack is a must and must be hard to get. Okay. They will give you 3. Okay. Okay. You don't have to baby it. Okay, another nice thing about titanium is super durable. Yes, that was the one thing that I noticed, is it doesn't bend right away, but it's so firm, I'm afraid that if I try and bend it too hard, it's going to snap like a piece of plastic. The titanium pots are ultralight and pretty durable. That's the perks of titanium. Okay, I could see that. Yeah, definitely. Add the attachment. Okay, what tools did you say you needed? For what, Alfred? You gotta remember, my brain ain't working properly right now, so I'm trying to I'm reading your comments, trying to remember what part of the conversation, because I know I'm behind. So, interesting. What tools do you need, Tuck? So what do I need to be able to go out on trail? One, I need a water filter. Two, it's I need to be able to have some basic bushcraft tools, such as like the saw, hammer, axe, trifecta, whatever the thing is that they call it. Something like that would be a tool that I would need if I wanted to go that way. But my main thing for supporting myself on trail is food. Is more. But as far as tools right now, one of the tools that I need that I want to get is I need to get me an external jump drive, because in order for my editing to get better, I need to have B-roll. I need to have a place to store it. I can't store it on my phone. I've got limited storage. I'm constantly recording videos, so it makes it a pain in the ass. But that's kind of like the only real gear that I need. So But okay, you can't buy the real version anywhere. Okay. Hey, All American Prepper, I'm glad to see you. So I had a few glances. Can you still get a satellite phones? Yes, I think you could even buy them on Amazon. Do a pan. Okay. What's something you know that the very few people do? Um, as far as homeless, prepare my camp. When I walk into camp, I do the same thing as if I'm on trail. I'm looking for debris. I'm trying to make it as soft as possible. So like when we get into like a park area, I go and I get all those pine cones up. I get all that stuff up. Nobody really does it. They just set their stuff on top of it, sleep on top of it, and hope that they have enough padding, or they just have so much actual padding. But the ground is actually pretty soft if you clear the debris out. But you got to have grass, and you got to have regular dirt, not clay dirt. But you know, I think that that's something that I do that most people don't do. Plus, I tend to always be on the move. I try not to be in the same place. I try not to be in the same place twice, or very often, like on the same days. I try and keep an inconsistent schedule. I'm a very predictable, habitual person, but I try and keep variance in the way in which I start my morning. And Sam is finally getting used to that because, for a few mornings we wake up, I feed her. And then for a few mornings we wake up, we don't eat for another hour or two. And then we stop and find a place to eat because, I want to get up, I want to move before we normally move, or I want to leave, a little bit later, stuff like that. Because if people, one thing I know, and because of the issues that I'm dealing with Sam, people are watching me. People are waiting for me to be vulnerable, and I'm vulnerable 4 hours a night. So if I'm not keeping a consistent schedule on when I'm being vulnerable, it makes it very hard for somebody to be able to do something to me, or take my stuff. And right now, with the way that people are, it's just people are just going nuts. They're too busy trying to ruin somebody else's life because they've already ruined their own. Okay. Starlink, $70 a month. I'll find you a sponsor. No service, no problem. Hey, Alfred, if you do that, most definitely. I would definitely take something like that. Nice merchandise. Thank you. Merch looks awesome. Yes, even though I've banged it up. 7 people watch, $10 a month to get Tuck a Starlink. Yeah, actually, that would be good. Either that, or I need 2 people to sign up for I forget what the for the God. Oh, it's called what is it? Brass Army of Tuck or something like that, where you get the 1 hour consult. So I need 2 of those to sell, and that'll be good. Yeah, and then I can afford a Starlink, definitely. So I'll email you. Okay, perfect. Thank you, Bushcraft. And same thing with you, American Prepper. I need you to email me so we can collaborate. I've got a collaboration coming up on the 25th with the homeless entrepreneur. Him and I are going to sit and talk. We're going to do a once a month sit down. Him and I are going to be bringing guests. We're going to be able to talk. It's going to be more of like an awareness or advocacy type talk. It's going to be very structured compared to what we normally do. But him and I are going to come together and do that once a month. I would love to do that with you, Bushcraft. I would love to do that with you, All American Prepper. I would love to do that with you, even Joe. Because we can all work together, and we are all, because I see you guys over in these other guys' chats, and I'm sure they see you over in my chats, and it's kind of fun to say, oh yeah, I know that guy. Yeah, that guy's over here on my channel too. So and then all of a sudden you start looking for comments from the people that you know from the different channels, because all of a sudden you guys are all crossing paths. And therefore you create a tight-knit network, because we all cover a portion of what it is that of the complete picture. All American Prepper has his, Bushcraft has his, I have mine, Joe has his, Tomcat has his. And if you put us all together, we're very powerful. But if you keep us, if we don't collaborate, then generally what will end up happening is we'll never really get any real traction to really bring the awareness and actually make it entertaining for people. Because Joe, you're entertaining. Tomcat, you're entertaining. Bushcraft, you know Bushcraft like very few people that I know. You know, myself, I'm about advocacy and awareness and what like the urban lifestyle and the traveling lifestyle is about. Bushcraft, he knows about bikes. I know I'm leaving somebody out. All American Prepper, you know, he not only was he MMA and, you know, he has self defense school. That's important. You know, maybe we need to get him getting that up and running again so that, you know, he can get back on his feet. And maybe he may not have a lot of people, but he'll have enough to be able to support himself, because it's going to become very popular. And you and I and everybody else, we all need to learn it so we can all help each other. So this is my public my public announcement that if any of you guys want to do a collaboration, whether it be a pre-recorded video or a live stream together, you have to send me an email, friartuck@hobotuck.com. We have to have it scheduled. I need to have logistics. I'm too busy just to wing it. Like, oh, I feel like doing it today at 2. I'm not that type of guy, okay? So most of them are Android. Try 7000. Okay, not the rest of your days, but just until after election. But see, here's the thing, Alfred. Okay, in the same way that I make the same decision about Sam, because I told you guys if she wasn't going to be a service animal, I had to get rid of her. I wasn't going to keep her because she was a useless animal to me at that point in time. I don't need a pet. I need a tool. Okay, and I need her to be the tool that she's supposed to be. But I can't necessarily get that from her. But does that mean I'm going to kick her to the curb? No, it just means, okay, I have to acknowledge them. I have her as a pet. But I forgot where I was going with that. I lost my whole train of thought because I was thinking. Anyways, but after the election, I'm worried. But I get it, but I made the choice to stay here even though I knew it was going to be dangerous. There's going to be, and if you guys don't see me on here, okay, for those of you that are stuck around this long, you're going to get some important information right here, okay? And this important information is if all of a sudden I drop off the face of the earth, either I am in the morgue, or I am in the clink, or I got a ride to the hospital. Those are be one of the 3 places that I will be. And those of you, especially those of you that are on Patreon, that know where I'm, that know my legal information, you will be able to look me up and find out, and so on and so forth. That is, but if something happens to me, I knew that I was going to be going into this danger because I want to be here front and center and to be able to document it. But the more that I see it unfolding, it's almost like a flash mob that shows up. It happens so quick, start to finish, that you don't even have time enough to pull out your phone, pull out your camera, start recording, set the scene, set the mood, anything else like that. It's like boom, boom, there you go. And it's like nobody would believe me if I told them what I just saw, type thing. And you're just having these. It's happening randomly all over the place. I don't understand the reasoning behind it but as far as the danger goes, it's like everybody's lurking around the corner looking to see where they can interfere, because everybody's so mad at their life that they want to make somebody else just as miserable as they are. Okay, and it is everywhere. It does not matter whether you're rich or poor, smart or stupid, fat or skinny, tall or short. Okay, this is affecting everyone equally. So. But okay, all right, so try to think of tools used both city and trail. Alfred, I will probably ask me that question again. I will put a bonus video up on when I do my rant about what happened last night. I will make because I know you and I know Jeremy's over there, and then I might mention it again in passing on the next live stream, but I will have something out to you guys within like the next 48 hours, but I need enough time to sleep and to think and to process, and I haven't had any sleep. I've had 2 hours sleep, but so that means I can't think and I can't process very well. I don't know if you guys are noticing, but like I'm struggling just to be able to process and to be able to put words together and string sentences without babbling and rambling. Okay, so did you ever read my message a few weeks ago about remote control collar for Sam? Yeah, I did not see it. Was it on Patreon or was it on YouTube? Because if it's on YouTube, I didn't see it. If it's on Patreon, I haven't seen anything. Or if you did say something, I don't remember. Okay. Or if I do, like I said, if you, because I remember somebody saying something about a collar, but I don't remember how long ago it was. Because we were talking about shot collars. I'm like, I don't want to do a shot collar. But you know, with Sam, it would probably make my life a lot easier with her because I can deal with her in silence, but I really don't like the fact that I would shock her. But that may be the way to deal with her. But it's I don't know, but I don't really want to have somebody put funds out for something like that if it turns out that it's not going to work for various reasons. I mean, I don't know why it would or wouldn't work, but it would be something that I would definitely entertain. I would like to do, but again, at the same time, I don't really want to have a lot of money put out for it in case, like the boots that Jeremy sent me. Sam was not able to use the boots as much as I wanted her to. She couldn't, so I gave them to somebody that needed it. And so, I mean, I don't want to, have somebody spend a lot of money because then I'm going to feel guilty about it. Okay, but I am also not going to carry around dead weight and things that are not going to work either. So I think it would be nice to do it, but I would like to do a test run before I decide, okay, yes, this is what I want to do. So I may have to go to like a PetSmart and try it there and see if they'll let me do a demo. And if they let me do a demo and I like how it works with Sam and I know that she isn't going to go ape shit, then I may actually, say, yeah, let's go ahead and do it. But if she all of a sudden starts getting more aggressive and lashing out and stuff like that, because of the amount of shocking that she gets for every time that she gets out of line, well, then that's not going to work for either one of us because, one, I don't want to get attacked by my dog, and two, she's being aggressive by it, and that would be a reason why I would say it may not work. Yeah, so that's just my thoughts on that, okay? So knife, saw, and hatchet, a good hand digging tool is useful. Well, look at the my little butt plug. I barely touched, and I was bleed. I had to put a Band-Aid on it last night just to get the bleeding to stop. I mean, that knife is super sharp. That little butt plug I have, but yeah, I need to really rethink, and this is something that I have to really think about is to what level of aggression am I willing to go at what points in time? What are my little checkpoints? Like when the police take off their uniforms and go back home, at that point in time, I'm no longer holding back, but I've held back for so long, I don't know what it's like to let go. And so I have to, it's a transition. And so I want to make sure that I am prepared in case I come off like a novice or in case I come off like an expert. Because I mean, when I'm having these adrenaline rushes, it completely changes my sight, my sound, my senses. Everything slows down. I'm able to focus. I'm able to see multiple moves ahead, but I'm operating on pure rage. And so that's where, with all that rage, that's kind of where the extra strength comes from. So try not to get store credit. Try to get to store credit. Tight young hobo. Okay. Okay. Yes. Okay. I got robbed for $100. Literally nothing you can do. Yeah, that sucks, man. I haven't been robbed for that much yet. So, but no, actually, no, I've been robbed for more. I got robbed for almost my whole fucking paycheck because I didn't put a payee on the money order. So they just wrote it to cash and took my rent money. So, all right, taking different routes, trails back to from camp is also key to do. Yes, Gillette is the best a man can get. Okay, my beard gets long. They accept EBT. Okay, all caught up. Thankful. Okay, Jeremy, glad to see you're caught up. Sounds like a chipmunk. I like the chipmunk sound. I laughed my ass off, but I didn't get any views the one time I did that, and I thought everybody would laugh their ass off along with me. But I don't know. Maybe my sense of humor doesn't come out right. That you guys don't notice my sense of humor because I will say like witty things off to the side. So, Tuck, you have any camping bushcraft questions? I can help you too. Yes, my main thing is understanding the knife. But now that I have this butt plug, um, the hold on, let me make sure it's still in my pocket. I gotta figure out what I did with it. Please tell me I didn't. No, okay, there it is. Um, now that I have this thing, I kind of understand because here's the thing. I like the safety, but the safety is too loose. So I need to find something that does have a safety because I like having the safety. This thing has come open in my pocket a couple of times. Okay, but I like the fact that I can hold it in my hand, that I can move it in a specific direction, and in kind of incognito. Okay, so and then just like that. Okay, so it is able to come out and just like that, and it somebody isn't able to see it come down. Now I like this, but I want something that goes straight out versus flipping out. Something is, but the thing is I guess it would have a spring. So unless you have something that's gonna like be some sort of resistance, it's not gonna work. You know what I mean? So I don't know, but I would like to know if you guys know of any quality knives that will kind of fit when I'm looking there. I like this. I like how small it is. I like how concealed it is. And I'm gonna keep buying things about this size for that specific reason, because I want to be able to have the element of surprise, especially considering people look at me and they go, "Oh, this guy's just like he's passive. Oh, he's not gonna do anything." They don't realize, what I'm capable of. Uh, but and so therefore they see me in a different light because that's what I give off. And so therefore that is a tactical advantage for me because, well, one of the biggest things that I do that scares the crap out of people is people are like, "Man, you're nice, you're nice, you're nice." And then once they see me get really mad, all of a sudden I get really scary. They're like, "I don't like you. You just scare me," because it's such night and day. You are equally as evil as you are good. It is the balance. And so if you are extremely nice and extremely good and extremely kind and caring, then you will be equally on the flip side of that coin too. So, again, that's why you accept who you are. All right. Okay, so, but yeah, Jeremy, I will definitely reach out to you about that. Jeremy, also, I need to know about sleeping bags, doggy sleeping bags, because if Sam and I are outside this winter, I need something that's going to be able to survive down into the negatives, and I don't know where to find it. And they're not giving any temperature rating on any of these sleeping bags that I've been looking at for her. So most underestimate the power of networking. Yes, networking is important. Jumping crap, IVR bin, projectile. Okay. Oh wow. Sorry about that, Joe. Okay. I'd send you body armor but too heavy to carry. Yeah. No. We're trying to go light, not heavy. Something else. Well, I know that I'm gonna eventually buy it, but I want to get me an Osprey backpack. I've got to see one. I was supposed to get one and it never showed up. I'm kind of disappointed in it, but I think that when this backpack is done, this replacement that I get, I should have enough money or be able to figure out a way to finagle an Osprey. Because that is going to be what I want to be my final pack because of not only durability, but just, all the other features it has to offer. But yeah, I really, really, really want an Osprey. But I know that they're expensive. I've priced them out for a 65 liter. You're paying almost $400. So, okay. I'm excited. I get my weapons back tomorrow. Yay. Good for you. Okay. So I'm going to go through these real quick and then we're going to go ahead and start wrapping up. Okay, guys? Because we're over an hour and again, I'm tired. I want to go to bed. It's getting dark outside already. So, okay. It's been a vibrate button. Okay. She knows what's next. Okay. Till the now vet wheelchair. Okay. They have collars that will vibrate versus shock. Okay. That's good to know. Do you have to spit on your butt plug when you put it away? Well, why do you think I keep a little jug of canola oil? So there you go, Jeremy. So next package, I can send you a decent pocket knife. I have several that are good, but won't make you cry if you lose it. Okay, good. Because yeah, you don't get nice stuff out here. So when you get nice stuff, you tend to cherish it. You tend to treat it as good as you possibly can because you know how hard it is to get good quality stuff. Okay, I like many ASP buttons. I take when I walk. Okay, one in 1 year. Okay, yeah. Another thing that yeah, well, honestly, no. All I really need is I need a jump drive. But again, I'm gonna go buy one. I'm gonna buy me like a 64 gig or 128 gig, because all I need is like 10-second clips. I don't need a lot of clips. I just need a place to store it so that I can just plug it into any computer whenever I do my editing. And that's only gonna cost me like 10 or 15 bucks. So that's what I'm gonna really be looking for. So, but it is what it is. So, but all right, guys. Let's see. It's a water filter. Okay. What's the hammock you will need? Under quilt and quilt or sleeping bag. The best ones are hiking stores. They will give you temperature ratings also. So the underquilt, I know when winter comes, I'm gonna have to get one that's about as big as my damn sleeping bag, and I probably won't need a sleeping bag because it's so big. And I might even look at getting rid of my sleeping bag and just kind of using that as a in the future. But the ones that are good for like -20 and stuff like that, they're very thick. It's like my sleeping bag, but it'll keep me warm. I'm gonna be looking at something like that for winter. But Sam and I need if I'm gonna with Sam, I need a 2-person hammock. I thought the 1-person would be good, but the way in which she likes to spread out at night, it actually started making it really cramped. So towards the end, I just started having her sleep on the ground because we just couldn't sleep in the hammock together, especially as it got warmer. So, okay, with the hammock you only, okay. All right, guys, so this is the end of the show. This is the song that never ends. Some people started singing it, not knowing what it was. Goes on and on, my friend. Okay, so this is the end of our of my live stream today. So thank you for showing up. Thank you for being here. Thank you for participating. I will love to see you on Saturdays. Those of you that have questions about Patreon or anything else that I'm doing, please feel free to reach out to me through the many social mediums. You have so many ways that you can contact me. I have an open door policy, and I hope that you guys take advantage of that. Just even to sit back and have a side conversation. Now, I may not really respond a lot because I'm really busy, but I'll always respond to you, and I'll keep engaged in the conversation as much as possible. So don't think that I'm ignoring you or that I'm bored. It's that I'm busy all day, every day, for the rest of my life until elections at least. So, but anyways, guys. Open door policy. Sorry, I found that hilarious. Yeah, considering I'm talking about a butt plug, but we're not talking about the back door. So, but anyways. All right, guys. Thank you for being here. I will see you in the next video, in the next live stream.